Hand or glove. The penitent being ordered to kiss a certain lady, when he approaches, she demands what he wants. I am ordered to kiss you, madam. How will you have this kiss, hand or glove? He makes a choice. Stop, sir. You must answer still another question. Will you be my handyman, or will you be my footman? Having decided, he is now awarded the kiss, but by the rule of contraries. For instance, if he has chosen to kiss the glove, and to be a footman, he kisses the hand as a reward for his humility. If he has chosen to kiss the hand and be footman, she takes off her glove and gives him to kiss. If he has chosen to be handyman and kiss her hand, he must kiss her shoe. If handyman and to kiss the glove, he must kiss her foot, taking off the shoe. In fine, humility is in this penance rewarded, while presumption is punished. The almoner, or I'll kiss you by my proxy. The penitent being ordered to entreat a lady to bestow on him one charitable kiss, he approaches to make the demand with the cant of a beggar. She replies, I give it you by proxy. She then chooses a gentleman, whom she thus addresses. I want to give a kiss in pure charity to a poor beggar. Will you receive my alms? I will take it. Reaching out his hand, she kisses it. Now, sir, mind what I am going to tell you, as I am anxious my bounty may come safe to hand. You can give this kiss to the lady he prefers. I can trust her honesty, for she will be sure to give it to him she loves. This raises a laugh at the expense of the poor penitent, but the tables are to be turned against his fair tormentor by the gentleman she has chosen for her almoner, who addresses her thus, Madam, I obey your commands. You are the lady preferred. You I kiss, and order you, as my proxy, to kiss the penitent. He first kisses her hand. Thus I pay your note of hand, but I must give you also a small matter of percentage, which I will trouble you to account for to the penitent. Here, sir, I present to you a very honest and charitable lady, from whom you are to receive not only principal, but interest also, both simple and compound. Cupid's Turnpike. A lady and gentleman, going into the middle of the room, join their hands and elevate their arms so as to form an arch. The lady is at liberty to call for a gentleman, and her partner then nominates a lady. This couple, who request leave to enter the bower, are told to advance. However, while they are passing, the arms of the first couple being lowered, they are caught, and, to regain their liberty, must forfeit a kiss to the first pair. They then form, with their arms, a second arch, and have the privilege of calling up a new couple. These have to pass 2 tolls, and pay 2 kisses each. Thus in succession, 6 or 8 couples may be called up, the toll being taken at every arch. The effect is very agreeable. White handkerchiefs may be held up to form the arch, by which means the passengers may be more easily secured. The pilgrimage. The penitent is ordered to conduct a lady to Loretto. He, accordingly, taking her by the hand, stops at each person's chair in the circle, crying, A boon for 2 poor pilgrims. Where are you going? In search of a relic. Where? To Loretto. What do you demand? A fig for myself, a kiss for Sister Angela. The cavalier to whom this is addressed, snapping his fingers, cries, A fig for you, Sir Pilgrim, and much good may it do you. And for Sister Angela I will assuredly kiss her, and much good may it do me. When the pilgrim addresses a lady, he reverses the matter, and demands a good wish for Sister Angela and a kiss for himself. The good wish will afford an opportunity for saying something friendly or satirical, as, I wish Our Lady of Loretto may absolve her from her vow and send her home with a good husband. I wish Sister Angela may soon get rid of her scurvy companion, etc., etc. The ransom. The penitent is ordered to cruise on the Pacific Ocean until he captures a prize. Having selected a lady, he makes her prisoner, tying her hands behind her with a ribbon, scarf, or silk handkerchief. He then demands what she will give for her ransom. She offers various things, a bottle of moonshine, a gold mine in Utopia, a shadow of hope, a prospect of happiness, Aladdin's lamp, Fortunatus's wishing cap, a halter, a pig's ear stuffed with treacle, a patent hog trough, a musical gridiron, and various whimsical things. No, no, you are far from imagining the ransom I demand. If you will send me one of your friends, I will whisper to her what it is, and she shall hint it to you. A lady being deputed by the captive, the penitent approaches as if he designed to whisper in her ear. But he kisses her and says aloud, "Go tell yon slave she has no other mode of escaping from bondage than by coming to kiss her master, who, at that price, consents to set her free." She must execute this command. The penitent, pretending to avoid her, goes to a corner, where he is held by some of the ladies until the ransom is paid. A voyage to Cyprus. The penitent, having chosen a partner, retires with her behind a screen or a window curtain, or goes out of the room, and if he does not give her a kiss, he must be set down for a booby. When he returns, he is asked where they have been. To Cyprus, to get married, and only guess if what I have made my bride a present. The lady is then to reveal the name of some article of dress to the conductor, who begins to question each lady in turn. Those who guess wrong are kissed by the bridegroom. The men are then questioned. Those who fail pay a forfeit. The man who guesses right kisses the bride. A cure for the spleen. The penitent is ordered to recline as if confined by sickness. The conductor, after a short pause, goes to ask the penitent how he finds himself. "So bad that I don't wish to be disturbed. Leave me to die in peace." "Your case is not so desperate, I hope. Have you consulted eminent physicians?" "What will they tell me, except that I must pay their fees?" "Come, come, you are too severe. I'll recommend you one who not only possesses transcendent talents, but unbounded liberality." The conductor then selects a lady, to whom he communicates, in a whisper, such instructions as will appear by the part she now plays. Doctor: "Have you been long sick?" Patient: "Too long." Doctor: "Let me feel your pulse." "All is not right here. I suspect you to be somewhat wrong-headed, too." Patient: "You surely must deal with the devil to find that out so soon." Doctor: "Can you eat?" Patient: "Like a wolf." Doctor: "Can you drink?" Patient: "Like a fish." Doctor: "Can you sleep?" Patient: "Like a top." Doctor: "Like a humming top, I believe. I think if you were treated like a whipping top, it might be serviceable. Shall I prescribe for you a few stripes with eel skins every 4 hours?" Patient: "No, I thank you." Doctor: "You feel horrid giddy, a spinning, as it were, in the head, eh?" Patient: "A swimming, doctor, a perfect swimming. I believe, for my part, that there are as many tittlebats in my brain as in Rosamond's pond." Doctor: "No, no, you mistake the matter. I admit your brains are somewhat washy, but they contain no fish, nothing but maggots, plenty of maggots. Your nerves?" Patient: "Steel." Doctor: "Your heart?" Patient: "Oak." Doctor: "Your lungs?" Patient: "Leather." "I think I'll hit your case. I begin to suspect something. You must promise to answer my questions without reserve." Patient: "Always when expedient." Doctor: "Does it not excite your indignation to see the innocent oppressed?" Patient: "Always." Doctor: "Does it not move your contempt to see rogues and fools wallowing in riches, while men of wit and learning pine in want?" Patient: "It makes my blood boil till my very breath comes singing and smoking out of my nostrils, like steam from the spout of a tea kettle." Doctor: "I begin to understand the nature of your case. Put out your tongue." "Tut, man. Half a foot would do. I don't want to see root and all." Patient: "That's neat." Doctor: "More like a bullock's, I think." Patient: "Doctor, you're so droll, it is 1,000 pities I have not gone the Guernsey. The point of your wit would pierce what lancets never could reach." Doctor: "Don't talk too much. 'Tis bad for your complaint. I have almost done. I have but a couple more questions to ask you. How do you feel if you ask a pretty woman to dance, and she declines, yet 2 minutes after accepts a dandy for her partner?" Patient: "I feel half angry, half mortified." Doctor: "I suspected as much. Now, sir, be kind enough to shut your eyes and tell me what you see." Patient. A monstrous being, 16 feet high and 10 across the shoulders. He's all blue, clothes, beard, and all. Amazing. Why, it's Bluebeard, magnified by Caterfolto's microscope. Doctor. Enough. I know your ailment now, and must proceed to assure you. Giving him a small stone. Throw this. He throws it, and springs up, crying, I am cured, I am restored, I am as well as ever I was in my life. Doctor. I know how it would be. The prescription of my immortal predecessor, Dr. Green, is an infallible cure. Throw but a stone, the giant dies. Patient. Then I find any complaint was but the spleen. Well, I am so grateful I could hug you. Prithee, my dear doctor, what is your fee? How are you generally paid? Doctor. For the poor I practice gratis, but for those like you who can afford to pay, my terms are, when I go to my patient, a whole kiss for every visit. From those who consult me at home, I only take half a fee. Patient. Half a kiss? That's droll. I won't do things by halves, I'll promise you. Kissing her heartily. What's the use of being sulky? The penitent being put in a corner, the ladies go to him in succession and address him thus. What's the use of being sulky? Give me a kiss and make it up. If the lady be not one for whom he wishes to show a preference, he turns his back to her and cries, I won't. Go along, you horrid pest. But when the favored fair has uttered the words, give me a kiss, he springs out to meet her, saying, as many as you like, and thank you for asking. There are usually imposed various penances, of a nature truly disagreeable, which, however they may suit the taste of the splenetic and unsocial, cannot but give pain to generous minds, on which account we shall not introduce them here, kind readers. For I flatter myself we are an inoffensive, cheerful set, assembled to be happy, to whom coarse jokes and malicious tricks would afford no amusement. Nevertheless, as there is an ebb and flow in every tide, and as in journeying through this world's wilderness we are doomed sometimes to walk in a rough path as well as a smooth one, we must now parade our poor penitent where he will encounter some mortification, where his penitence will not be ideal, where, in fine, he will not be always allowed to boil his peas, or stretch his limbs upon a bed of roses. The Knight of the Woeful Countenance. The penitent is seated on a chair in the middle of the room. He makes choice of a lady, who is ordered to sit on his knee. She calls a gentleman, who kisses her. She then rises, and making a curtsy, cries, Thank you, Sir Knight of the Woeful Countenance, leaving the poor fellow to bewail his disappointment. The Bridge of Sighs. The penitent being placed on all fours, a lady goes and sits on his back. She begins to sigh. What is the matter, madam, that you sigh so bitterly? You seem distressed. This is asked by some gentleman. I am indeed, sir. Why? Nobody coming to marry me, nobody coming to woo. Don't grieve so. One would imagine this was the celebrated Bridge of Sighs. I'll come and woo you myself sooner than you should die broken-hearted. There, be pacified, that's a good girl, and now I'll change the name of this Bridge of Sighs. Henceforth, let it be called the Bridge of Kisses. He kisses her. Yes, and I will always praise the bridge which carried me so well over. The Beast of Burden. The penitent is made to carry a lady on his back around the room. He is ordered to stop before each gentleman who kisses her and wishes her a pleasant ride. The king of the beggars is dead. The penitent, and a lady who has also a forfeit to redeem, take each a handkerchief, and, holding it to their faces, after the manner of mourners, go to opposite ends of the room. They then approach each other slowly, lifting up their hands in token of grief. Lady, there is some dreadful news. Penitent, alas. Lady, the king of the beggars is dead. Penitent, alas, alas. Lady, he is buried. Penitent, alas, alas, alas. Lady, alas, 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 4 times alas, he cut his own throat with his own cutlass. Penitent, imperial mendicant, before whose feet scullions cast mouldy crusts and broken meat, why left he, weeping on her widowed throne, his very flesh of flesh and bone of bone. What will this queen now do to banish sorrow? Lady, take a new husband to her arms to-morrow. Penitent, how will she get one? Lady, get one, honest sell 'em? Why, I suppose she'll borrow, beg, or steal 'em. Penitent, she may find comfort thus. I've lost a friend. My sorrow is a ring without an end. Alas, alas, I wish all swords were wooden, and cutlasses were only made of puddin'. Lady, alas! Penitent, alas, alas! Lady, alas, alas, alas! Penitent, alas, 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 alas! Lady, when I espouse a dandy, I'll take good care by my bedside to have a cutlass handy. What do you cry for? The penitent, going to a corner, pulls out a handkerchief and begins to sob and cry at a piteous rate. The conductor demands for whom he mourns. He then names a lady, who is thus addressed by the conductor. Comfort yon wretch, love's magic arts employ, and turn his floods of grief to tears of joy. The lady is obliged to go and comfort the mourner, who salutes her. She then becomes the mourner, and names the person who is to afford her comfort. He approaches, saying, Sigh no more, lady, sorrow may be mine, but ease and pleasure only shall be thine. After affording the requisite comfort, he names a lady, and so on alternately, until all the party are ranged in a line. When they are all up, each couple is to stand arm to arm. The penitent then goes to wish each person joy, for which he receives from every lady a box of the ear. The clock. The penitent who is to perform the part of clock is made to stand up at one end of the room. One of the persons then cries, Dear, what a fine clock! I wonder whether it is a musical clock, a dumb clock, a cuckoo, a repeater, an alarm, or St. Dunstan's. The clock replies, That depends on the will of my mistress. Who is your mistress, old brazen face? The penitent nominates a lady. The conductor then desires her to decide what clock she will have. She replies that the stars shall determine. Accordingly, on 6 slips of paper are written musical, dumb, cuckoo, repeater, alarm, and St. Dunstan's. These being put into a hat, the conductor draws one. If musical, the clock must sing a tune in imitation of chimes. If dumb, the hour is to be smitten on his cheek by a lady's fan, without his uttering the least complaint. If cuckoo is drawn, the hour must be cuckooed, while the person who demands the hour cries, Oh, I find this clock belongs to a married man. If the clock is a repeater, at the end of each stroke the clock must repeat anything the striker may choose to utter. For instance, for 1, Have you the assurance to tell us 'tis 1? It is only 5 minutes past 12 by the sun. The last line to be repeated by clock. For 2, How can you have the face to declare it is 2? Clocks, like men, are deceivers. They seldom speak true. For 3, Fibs are things most disgraceful. You've just uttered 3. All false clocks should be hung upon Tyburn tree. For 4, All your lights are at best but 4 will-o'-wisp fires. I admit that all clocks are most terrible liars. For 5, Would you make us believe it is no more than 5? Those who keep false accounts do not merit to thrive. For 6, I'm amazed how you dare to assure us 'tis 6. Lo, the rogue is found out in his fraudulent tricks. For 7, 7 times he hath struck, when he ought to smite 10. Ladies, never put your trust in clocks, watches, or men. For 8, 8 blows you deserve from a bludgeon that's oaken. He who breaks an engagement should have his head broken. For 9, 9 times coated with brass is your impudent face. When a cheat is discovered, his merits disgrace. For 10, those who measure the hours will find, 9 times in 10, clocks themselves are not free from the vices of men. For 11, 11 times glowing gilt should your dial emblazon, but we never see a blush on a cheek that is brazen. For 12, you tell lies by the dozen, imposture your trade is. Clocks and men were both made to deceive the poor ladies. If the clock is an alarm, the conductor says, Mr. Clock, I am glad to find you are an alarm, for we mean to break up a little before daylight, and I desire you to go off about 5 minutes after sunrise. But we must have a specimen of your abilities. Clock, in that I am willing to obey you. But I must first get the loan of some lady's voice, who with accents shrill and clear knows well how to beat up the point of war on the drum of her husband's bar. If St. Dunstan's is the ticket, the hour is to be beaten in the following manner. Clock chooses his 2 bells from the ladies, and they are to name the 2 giants who are to strike the hours on them. Clock sits down with a bell on each side. He holds out both his hands. The giants hit the bells a kiss on the cheek, 1 for every hour, in return for which they strike Clock's hands with a fan or a shoe, paying him a blow for every kiss. The number of hours is to be decided at the same time that the ticket for the clock is drawn. Cards or slips of paper numbered from 1 to 12 are put in a hat, one of which is to be drawn by the conductor to decide the hour. Clock is to be wound up by one of the ladies, who is to use the handle of a large spoon, to be turned about in his mouth. He then takes the shovel, which he uses first for a pendulum, and afterwards to strike the hour upon with the poker. A suitor from Gotham. The penitent chooses a gentleman, who is to conduct him to a lady, whose hand he is to solicit for him. Guide. Madam, are you at leisure? Lady. What do you want? Guide. To move a suit. Lady. From the clothes press? Guide. No, madam, from the bottom of my chest. I come to pay you what is so justly your due. Lady. Put up your purse, you owe me nothing. Guide. Pardon me, madam, I have 3 mighty debts to pay you, admiration, respect, and love. Lady. For what reason? Guide. On my master's account. Lady. What, does he wish to court me? Guide. Yes, most angelic of created beings. Lady. Why, then, does he not speak for himself? Is he dumb? Guide. Dumb, madam? Why, he is a famous orator. Lady. His eloquence moves me, to box his ears. I think for rhetorician he cuts but a sorry figure. Sirrah, why don't you speak? If you admire my beauty, why don't you tell me so at once? Guide. Gently, gently, my dear gentlewoman. My master is too wise to make love. Lady. Too wise? Why does he not want to marry? Guide. Yes, 'tis his whim, I think a bad one, but the wisest of us have our whims and fancies. Lady. Where does he come from? Guide. From Gotham. Lady. Why did he not look at home for a wife? I suppose he could not find one there who was fool enough to marry him, so he fixed upon you to plead his case? Guide. Yes, he chose me for his advocate. Lady. Take your fee. Guide kisses her. Wise man of Gotham, this is for you. She snaps her finger at the penitent, who bows and retires. The weakest goes to the wall. The penitent is placed with his back to the wall. He is to call a lady, who stands with her face towards him. She then, in turn, calls a gentleman, whose back is turned to hers. He continues the call upon a lady, and so on until all the society is thus paired. When the last couple are formed, each person standing back to back, the conductor cries, "Face about, my brave knights, and let each kiss his lady." The poor penitent, from his position, is obliged, of course, to kiss the wall, which raises a laugh against him. He should try to turn the tables by giving vent to some sally of drollery. What I have kissed will never betray the faith of vows once plighted. Walls are, like bells, composed of clay. Then why should they be slighted? Lips may be pressed on things as cold, as plastered and as painted, and here there is no mouth to scold, or breath with fever tainted. Or, sweet ladies, you laugh, but I know, one and all, you pity my lips, while you envy the wall. Or, if a hole in this wall I had luckily spied, to play Thisbe some generous miss would have speedily flown to the opposite side, to bestow a reciprocal kiss. Love in the Shades. This is a lady's penance. She is ordered to kiss the shadow of some gentleman against the wall, saying, "Since no shadow of hope now remains of subduing the hearts of the swains, a set of despairing old maids make love to the bachelor's shades." The convent porter. The penitent is placed at the door of a closet, and one of the gentlemen addresses him thus: "Porter, go for Sister Cecilia, and conduct her hither that I may confer on her my benediction." The porter then brings the lady, who, if she has not a veil, throws a handkerchief over her head. The porter is ordered to place a cushion for the sister to kneel on. He takes his handkerchief and spreads it for her on the cushion. Friar: "Kneel, sister." Porter, draw aside her veil, for I prefer the velvet of her cheek to the lace of Brussels, the muslin of Bengal, or the cambric of Flanders. Sister, peace be with you. Kisses her with a hearty smack. Penitent: "What a buss!" Cecilia: "Hush, 'twas the kiss of peace." Penitent: "I hope the allies are included in the treaty. Is there nothing for me to do in this business?" Cecilia: "Draw the veil of cambric over my velvet cheek, and let thy lips be closed for ever with a seal of secrecy." Friar: "Porter, lead out the nun, and remember mum is the word if you fall in with the abbess." If there are more female forfeits to cry, they may be included in this penance, giving each the privilege of choosing her own confessor. The dialogue of the friars, nuns, and porters may be varied, but the kiss of peace is indispensable for the nun, and mum for the penitent. To vary it, the nun may press a seal on the porter's lips, saying, "The motto of this seal is mum." Porter: "Yes, but you forgot to close my mouth up first with your lovely lips, which are redder than the finest sealing wax." Giving the question. The penitent is to be laid on the ground, on a sofa, or on a couch, made of 6 chairs. 4 men are appointed to hold his wrists and ankles, to be secured, if necessary, by strong silk handkerchiefs. The penitent is now to name his torturers, who are to consist of 4 ladies and one, the object of preference, whom he is to choose to perform the part of Grand Inquisitrix. To terrify the penitent, some formidable preparations must be made with poker, tongs, shovel, bellows, snuffers, candles, a decanter of water, etc., but the only inflictions to be used are the following. When he does not immediately answer the interrogation of the Inquisitrix, she cries, "Give him the question!" The ladies are then to tickle his face and ears with a feather, also the palms of his hands and his ribs, shouting all the while, "Question, question, question!" In cases of obstinate resistance, the 4 ladies are to lean their chins on the penitent's breast and kiss each other, crying, "Rack him with envy! Rack him with envy!" In an extreme case, the Inquisitrix is to approach her face near the penitent's and say, "Caitiff, salute me instantly. I'll order you to kiss me. If you don't answer me immediately, I'll order you to kiss me. If he still resists, if you don't respond, I'll go and kiss your rival." Penitent: "O anguish insupportable, hold lovely torment, that threat if executed will cause the hand of jealousy to pluck up all my heartstrings by the root." The questions given to the penitent should, of course, be such as to excite the greatest mirth at his own expense, whilst in return he must endeavour to so to frame his responses as to throw some ridicule on his tormentors. We will now suppose the penitent extended on the bed of torture. Inquisitrix: "Are you not of a character essentially wicked, radically base?" Penitent: "Certainly no." Inquisitrix: "Tormentors, do your duty." They operate on the penitent. Penitent: "Oh, for mercy's sake, forbear! Yes, 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 I am. Inquisitrix: "Ah, I thought the truth would out. Secretary, be particular in taking down this criminal's confession. I expect to make some most important discoveries." "Have you not had dealings with the devil?" Penitent: "No, but he has sometimes been a customer of mine, and I find, to my sorrow, he is dealing with me now." Inquisitrix: Come, come, sir, none of these circuitous movements. If you do not know the way to give a direct answer, these, my guides, shall put you in the right road." A tormentor: "Had I not better hold a needle up to his tongue's end?" Inquisitrix: "That's a bright thought, for then he will be obliged to speak to the point." Penitent: "I would rather speak so as to gain my end." Inquisitrix: "I do not doubt it, but it is touching my end you must now speak." Penitent: "Which end?" Inquisitrix: "I'll let you know that my end is to be gained." Penitent: "If I thought so, I would buy a ticket. I should like to win you from beginning to end." Inquisitrix: "Silence, sirrah! If you prate thus, we shall never have done. Do you think you are the only man these ladies have to torment? Penitent, far from it. I believe they would do as much for any man, if a fair opportunity occurred. A tormentor, shall we not be allowed to punish this hardened culprit for his insolence? I should like to stick this breastpin in his bosom. Inquisitrix, you may look pikes, swords, hatchets, and halberds at him. You may speak daggers, but use none. My power only extends so far as to make him speak the truth. Tormentor, your power is miraculous. Take naught from naught, and there remains naught. Inquisitrix, silence. At this rate we shall never have done. Let us proceed to question. Where did we leave off? Second tormentor. At third tormentor. We were at fourth tormentor. Let me see. We were at penitent, where I wish you all were now, with all my heart. Inquisitrix, make him say where. Give him the question. Tormentor, tickling him. Where were we? At where? At what do you wish us? At penitent. Oh, the devil, the devil, the devil. Inquisitrix, hold, he has spoken truth. We were at the devil, sure enough. That brings me back to the question, which must be repeated. Prepare ye, tormentors. Have you not had dealings with the devil? Penitent, yes, certainly, ever since you stretched me on this bed of torture. Inquisitrix, never was the foul fiend more firmly entrenched in human garrison. The wretch avails himself of the subtlety of his evil spirit, thereby thinking he will foil us. But I flatter myself he shall find himself mistaken, for it would be hard if a cunning woman were not more than a match for the devil. I must take up a new position. Penitent, yes, you had better come and sit on my lap. Then your lovely face reclining on my faithful bosom, I'll answer all your questions in the most satisfactory manner possible. Inquisitrix, that came from the tempter. That was inspired by Penitent, love the most ardent. Inquisitrix, write that down. Penitent, in characters of flame. Inquisitrix, nothing will satisfy these amorous sparks but setting everything in a blaze. Penitent, what can be done without warmth when frost is to be melted? For if the bosoms of their mistresses are whiter than snow, their hearts are colder than ice. Inquisitrix, he has got me on the ice, thinking to give me a fall, the slippery fellow. Penitent, I should like to catch you tripping. Inquisitrix, so we are getting on a little. Sometimes we find ourselves approaching a point when we suppose ourselves receding. As navigators sail far east, as to get into west longitude at last. Write down that the penitent would like to catch me tripping. Now this brings us home to one of the charges set forth against him in the indictment. We are come to an important part. Did you not boast that you would catch me? Give him the question. He is tormented. Penitent, yes, I did. Inquisitrix, how, sir? Penitent, I won't tell you. Inquisitrix, tormentors, do your duty. Mind I don't tell you to scratch his eyes out. I only just hint that such a thing might be done, if necessary. Penitent, oh, stop. Inquisitrix, answer then, how did you say you would catch me? Penitent, by hook or by crook? Inquisitrix, and pray, what are your hooks? Penitent, my fingers. Inquisitrix, what your crooks? Penitent, these arms, on which I long to hitch yours, as the hook of a porridge pot hangs on the crook of the crane of the kitchen range. Inquisitrix, secretary, write down all this. You know how to make the pot hooks and hangers. You have told by what you said you would catch me. You must now tell how you would catch me. What, silent? Tormentors, do your duty. Question, rack him with envy. Penitent, oh horror, help. Fire. Stop thieves. Watchman, murder. Inquisitrix, speak then, how would you catch me? Penitent, napping. Inquisitrix, this corresponds with that charge which states the affair of napping. Now, sir, it remains for you to confess when this is to be. Tormented again. Penitent, in something less than 10 lustres. Inquisitrix, he has spoken truth, although not in the precise words set forth in the first count, which states that By hook or by crook, he would be sure to catch me napping before I was 50 years older. Napping, forsooth, the doxy-headed fellow! But to dispatch him at once, I'll read the second charge, which states that one fine summer's evening, under a sycamore tree, he held with one of his companions the following conversation. Oh, this enchanting creature! Oh, this most fascinating darly-cum-diddle-cum-ditto of a woman! What would I not do to make her mine? I wish I was a salamander. I would carry her with me to the furnace of a glass-house. I wish I was a great giant. I would whip her up and put her into the breast-pocket of my great coat. And here I must put a question. Prithee, with what view would you do this? Penitent, that I might cradle your dear form in my affectionate bosom, and rock you to sleep with the throbbing of my heart. Inquisitrix, my cheek might as well be pillowed on the piston of the Chelsea waterworks, or the prow of the Norlight in a December gale. But to proceed, after breathing 1,000 wishes, each more extravagant than the other, such as that he was a spider, I a bluebottle, I a mousetrap, he a mouse. Moreover, he vowed he would suffer a Clare Market butcher to cut out every bone in his body, so that he could get me for his rib. He wished that there was not another man living but himself, for that then I should have a Hobson's choice for a husband. As if I want a husband, ladies and gentlemen, as if I want a dirty good-for-nothing husband. Marry, come up. I marry? But now I come to the darkest part of this affair. I mean that which relates to the black art. I pray you attend to this. Being asked by his confidant if he had no charms for me, he was candid enough to own that he had not, but declared he had some thoughts of imitating Dr. Faustus, of selling himself to you-know-who, and of becoming a wizard, for the purpose of bewitching me. And now, tormentors, let him have the question, till he owns that every syllable of what I urge is true. The penitent, after being variously tormented and resisting, is destined to receive the coup de grace, which is thus inflicted. The inquisitrix chooses one who is to perform the part of rival. Inquisitrix, rival, give the penitent the coup de grace. Rival, I do what you are graciously pleased to order. Kisses her. The penitent groans. Poor soul, you have done his business. You have broken the poor fellow's heart. Inquisitrix, well, then to mend the matter, let him eat a pound of Van Courser's cement, or swallow a quart of melted sealing wax. The center of a hobble. This penance is for a lady. A ring being formed by the gentleman, a lady is enclosed. She cries, I can't get out, I'm in the center of a hobble. Why, there is no end to this ring. The conductor replies, there is an end to the ring, but it can only be found out by using a spell more potent than that of the magicians who formed it. The instant you touch, with your enchanting cheek, the lips of any of these genii, you will find a loophole to creep out of. Blow high, blow low. The penitent is ordered to blow a candle out, which is to be executed in the following way. He must put his hands behind him, while one of the ladies holds a candle near his face, but moves it as soon as he endeavors to blow. Although this appears an easy penance, it is attended with considerable difficulty. She must cry, blow high, blow low, north, south, east, west, etc. Taking leave. A lady being ordered to take an affectionate leave of her friends, chooses a female companion who takes her arm. When she comes to a lady, she cries, Adieu! I hope I shall never see you again. She makes a curtsy to the gentleman, saying, Goodbye, cousin. Her companion, then, kissing her opposite to each one, replies, Goodbye, dear. The Tantalus Minuet. The penitent is desired to choose a partner to walk a minuet with him. Each having a lighted candle in the right hand, after some grotesque dancing, she takes his left hand in hers, and advancing to a gentleman of the party, she stops and makes a fine low curtsy. The person thus saluted rises. The lady, then, putting her candlestick into her partner's left hand, bids him show a light. At this signal, the other salutes her. Then, making a low bow to the penitent, he hands the fair one to her seat. Many couples who have forfeits to redeem may be included in this penance, a lady being ordered to take the candle from the penitent and begin a new minuet, when she, in turn, is doomed to hold the 2 candles while her partner salutes another lady. Exile. A person of either sex may be banished to a corner of the room to stand there for a certain period, such as until 3, 6, or more forfeits have been cried. A lady may put an end to her banishment by her own good behavior, that is, if she will call some gentleman to kiss her, in which case she is liberated instantly. But the gentleman can only obtain his release by Her Majesty's special grace, that is, she who has the character of queen must make him kneel and kiss her hand. The slave. The penitent may be ordered to obey the command of any particular master or mistress, or be doomed the slave of all the party, when he is obliged to perform all he is commanded to do, the number of things being previously arranged. Lawful rebellion. In this penance, which should be reserved for the ladies, the person can only redeem her forfeit by acting in direct disobedience to the commands received. The conductor of the games may nominate 4 persons, 2 of each sex, who are to form the Privy Council. Each of these is to issue an order which may be so contrived as to favour or mortify the penitent, such as First Lady. If you go to Mr. Edward, I order you on no account whatever to say, Sir, I detest you from the bottom of my heart. Second Lady, go to Mr. George, but I charge you not to make a curtsy and say, Oh, my beloved creature, how I wish you were my husband. Pray, sir, before these witnesses, do pledge your word to marry me. First Gentleman, I order you not to come and sit on my lap. Second Gentleman, I command you not to let me kiss that rebel hand, those mutinous lips, and that dear disaffected cheek, etc., etc., etc. The secret kept. The penitent is ordered to choose a lady, for the purpose of entrusting her with a secret. We must suppose, if his gallantry is not very much below par, that he will profit by this happy occasion and say something highly complimentary to his confidant. My dear madam, I'll tell you something, but I entreat you will keep it a secret. I have long respected, admired, and loved you, although until this happy moment I never could find courage enough to declare my passion. The lady must not let go this fair occasion of saying something droll or satirical, such as, Now, sir, I'll tell you a secret in return. If I were called upon to choose a husband out of the present company, you are the only man whose addresses I would refuse. But now ye who know what it is to make a fit use of a golden opportunity, I leave you to imagine how, in the event of mutual regard, such an occasion might befriend a timid and ingenuous spinster, who, under covert of a sportive confidence, might frame a response to disclose her feelings without wounding her pride or lowering her dignity. The Bellman, or How to Keep a Secret. The penitent, going up to a lady, leads her into the middle of the room, saying, I met the bellman just now in the marketplace, and he told me, he whispers something to her. Now mind you keep it secret, for your life don't tell it to anybody. Lady, oh, certainly not, certainly. The lady then beckons a gentleman, who comes to her, and she whispers the secret. He, in turn, calls another lady, and so on successively, until they are all up, forming a circle. When the whole party have been entrusted, the conductor of the game, calling out the penitent, desires him to write the secret given on a slip of paper. This being done, one by one, he calls up the rest of the party, commencing, however, with the last. Each person is also made to write on a separate slip of paper, the secret committed to his keeping by his neighbor. This paper must be signed. When they are all collected, the conductor reads the papers, commencing with the penitents. In this manner, the numerous droll exaggerations which have been made, and the whimsical changes the secret undergoes, in its progress from the bellman down to the last confidant, becomes manifest. This may also be played as a game, when a forfeit is exacted from each person who has deviated a single word from the original secret. Complimentary penances. The penitent may be ordered to compliment some lady, either in verse or prose. Specimens. When a penance so sweet is awarded to me, as to praise you, dear madam, by way of vexation, I would fain be informed what my sentence may be, when my conduct is thought to deserve approbation. If your highness can wear such mean bays, you are welcome to me and my lays, for nothing, believe me, can equal the pleasure of pushing past bounds what we love beyond measure. Why am I told to sing the fame of her who scorns my humble name? Why doomed that lovely form to praise, to which my hopes I dare not raise? If good compliments forfeits redeem, I had better assent to the fine, for no words can express my esteem, or do justice to merit like thine. I may just hint how much I your talents admire, and how truly to gain your esteem I desire. But to make you a compliment formal and set, I could just as well pay off the national debt. When compelled to do homage by laws so despotic, the praise is forced fruit, 'tis flattery to love an exotic. When I vow you are worthy of praise and esteem, how do ye know I don't say so my pledge to redeem? Prithee, why should I compliments waste on a form these arms never embraced? Your face would look twice as divine if your sweet lips were pressed against mine. If you wish me to praise you, sweet misses, you must bribe me with plenty of kisses. It is needless to dwell upon the usual kind of plain prose compliments, but there are some which are rendered particularly difficult, owing to the following circumstance. The panegyric is to consist wholly of words, from which some particular vowel is to be excluded. This demands a careful choice of terms, as, for instance, suppose A to be the interdicted letter. The compliment may be turned after this manner. Your renown is mighty, but still your high desert exceeds it. Lovely, true, witty, well-informed, rich. He who desires more excellence in his mistress is not worthy to be deemed discerning, still less to be the object of her love, esteem, or friendship. O is perhaps less easily avoided. Ah, lady fairer than Helen, chaste as Lucretia, uniting wit with judgment, sprightliness with affability, and science with humility. Accept this tribute, tendered thee by a sincere admirer and a faithful friend. If the embargo is laid upon the letter U, the eulogist cannot address the lady in the second person plural without incurring a fresh forfeit, instead of redeeming the old one. Ordered to compliment this fair one before so many hearers, let me confess that I feel excessively abashed. Were we alone, sweet friend, a great deal might be said in behalf of my attachment to and my admiration of a lady so deserving. If I may, however, be favoured with a private interview, I shall endeavour so to profit by the occasion, that praises may be offered without pain to the hearer or embarrassment to the speaker. If there should be the letter U in the lady's name, instead of saying Susanna, Euphemia, Eugenia, etc., the penitent may point to the lady and say, ordered to compliment my good friend with the name which must be nameless, etc., etc.